So today we're going to look at collecting like terms. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. Like terms have the same variable, and those variables will also have the same exponent. So when I say the variable, I mean the letter, like X, Y, Z, M, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to add or subtract the coefficients. Now the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variable. And right here, I'm just going to put VAR for variable. Okay? So it's the number in front of the variable. Once you add or subtract, you're going to bring the variable. And if there's an exponent, you'll bring the exponent down as well. Today we're going to focus on ones that do not have exponents, but know that as we progress through the year, we're also going to be adding exponents, terms that have different exponents. So look at number 1. It says to simplify. Now, when you simplify, that just means that if any operation that you can do, you do it. If it's not possible, you're going to write simplified on there. So get out a highlighter. We want to see on number 1 which letters are the same, if there's any letters. There is an A here and there's an A here. So those letters are the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what it says. It says 12 and then plus, and there's not a number there, so that's like 1. 12 plus 1. So in your calculator, and this is for the other day. Now, if you want to clear, you can always go to a brand new document. Okay, so you've got 12 plus 1, enter, which is 13. Y'all all know that's 13. 13, and you bring down the letter A. Now, I have used the 12A, and I've used the 1A. What's left? Minus 3. So you just bring that down, minus 3, and you're done. I cannot go any further because 3 does not have an A. Okay, look at number 2. On number 2, I'm just first going to go through and look at my letters. This is an X. There's no other variables there. Well, who goes together? This does not have a letter. So 3, that has a letter. This does not have a letter. So I do plus 10. That's very important that you put the sign with it. So 3 plus 10. Now again, a lot of you know what 3 plus 10 is, but if you don't, just, oops, sorry, wrong thing. I did 3 plus 11. 3 plus 10, and I did it again. My pen just didn't go down and at 13. So 13, and there's not a variable. Okay, so you don't put a variable. And then I bring down that minus 6x, and you're done. 3. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at the variables. And on my variable, there's an x. The other one doesn't have an x. So this has a variable, that one doesn't. So I just have to put simplified. There's nothing I can put together. On number 4, so I have a y, and this is a y. So I'm going to put my 2 y's together. So this is 10, and then this says plus 1. So 10 plus 1 is 11, y. Now I have 2 numbers left, but neither of them have a variable. This says, and I'm going to take the highlighter so you can see that, minus 4, minus 7. Now, since that 4 is the first one, some of you get confused. You can still hit that minus if that helps you, but see that hits that A and S? You don't want that, okay? So if it's the very first thing you hit, you do negative 4, and then minus 7, okay? So that's negative 11. So minus 11. So since when it's the first, when that negative is the first, that's when you're going to do the parentheses negative, right? So negative 11, y minus 11. Now pause the video and try 5, 6, 7, 8. On the distributive property, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the number next to parentheses and multiply it. So take the highlighter. The number next to parentheses, you're going to multiply. I want you to highlight the number that's beside the parentheses. Okay? Whatever is beside the parentheses, you're going to multiply. So, and I'm going to go over these parentheses. You can use your red pen for those to really kind of stand out. So you're going to multiply. Now, when you put this in your calculator, you're actually gonna use the parentheses, so it's just like it looks. So this, you're gonna put in 3 parentheses 8 in your calculator. So 3 parentheses 8. Okay, hit enter. That's 24. Okay, now that's gone. But see, I still have that parentheses there, so now I have to do the next one. So you're gonna say 3 parentheses 2. And you know, the X you're not gonna put in the calculator, so you're gonna do 3 parentheses 2, enter, which is 6. So this is 6, and you just bring that X down, okay? Now what sign is it plus? So it's 24 plus 6X, you're done, okay? So let's try the next one. The first one is negative 5 parentheses 4. That's what you're gonna put in the calculator. So even if you're not comfortable with it, okay, negative 5 parentheses 4, that's negative 20. So negative 20, notice, and I would do this if I were you, there's an X. So when there's an X, I have to put that X right there. Some people forget that X and it throws them off. Now, after you do that one, I have this. So negative 5 parentheses, you have to put that negative 9 in there. So negative 5 parentheses negative 9. Negative 5 parentheses negative 9. Now, you get a positive 45. So this is a positive 45. But you see how there's a sign in between? I have to put something. So if it's a positive, you put a plus. Okay, there has to be something in between, but I have 2 terms. So if I start out with 2 terms in the parentheses, I should have 2 terms when I finish. So 2 terms, 2 terms. This has 3 terms. So at the end, when I get finished, I should have 3 terms. And I should have a plus or minus in between the 3 terms. Okay? So the first one is going to be negative 2 times 3, which is negative 6. And notice there's an X. So I have to bring that X down. Okay? The next one is going to be negative 2 times 5. So negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. And I have to bring that Y down. So there has to be, that Y is just going to come straight down. Okay, you have to bring it down. And then the last one that I've got is negative 2 times 1. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. So there's your answer. So if it comes out, so on your calculator when it's like negative 2 times 1, when it comes out a negative, you put a negative. But if it comes out with no sign, you put a positive. All right? So now you try 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and on the back, we're going to put the 2 things that we've done together. First, we're going to distribute. So you're going to multiply. Distribute means you're going to multiply the number in front, okay, in front of the parentheses. The number in front of the parentheses with the inside. Okay, so the number that's in front, so it's outside the parentheses. Okay, but it has to be next to it. Okay, most of the time it's in the front. Sometimes you'll see it in the back, but most of the time it's in front. So the one that's outside the parentheses with everything inside, and then you collect like terms. Okay, so let's look at example number 1. First of all, let's go through and on 1 through 4, we're just going to highlight who's outside the parentheses. So 2 is outside the parentheses here. 4 is outside the parentheses, and it's a negative 4. On number 3, negative 3 is outside parentheses. On number 4, 3 is outside parentheses, and there's another 3 outside parentheses. So we looked at the parentheses. Now, once you find the parentheses, remember I'm going to multiply. So if there's not a number there, it's a 1. So that's 2 parentheses 1, okay, which is 2. And then I have to bring down that A. Okay. So the A comes straight down. You have to remember that A. Then I also have 2 parentheses 4. 2 parentheses 4 is 8. It does not have a variable. Okay. Now remember on, and if you need to multiply your calculator, that's fine. 2 parentheses, 2 parentheses, I think that helps you to do the parentheses 4. That's 8. So the 8, if it's positive, you put a plus. Okay? Now notice, And this is very, very important. I want you to see it. This is where the parentheses stop. This is your parentheses. This is all together. See how that minus a is not in the parentheses? So what you do with that minus a, and I'm going to have you highlight this right here just comes straight down. You do not change it. You don't do anything to it. Minus a just drops. You drop it like a rock. Okay? Minus a. Now, I've distributed. Now I'm going to collect like terms. So 2a minus 1a. Because there's an a there, and this one has an a. If they both have an a, I do what it says. 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1. Some people like to do 2 plus a negative 1, which is fine. You get the same answer. When you combine like terms, it's like putting them together. So that is 1a, and then you bring down plus 8, and there's your answer. Let's try number 2. Now, look at the parentheses. My parentheses are here. 10x is not in the parentheses, so you're going to drop it. 10x drops. Now, I'm going to multiply negative 4 times 1. Now, I'm going to do it kind of a little bit faster this time. Negative 4 parentheses 1 equals. See how you get a negative 4? So you're going to put negative 4, and see how that variable x, you bring that x down. Okay? And then you have negative 4 times 1. Again, negative 4 times 1. I just did that, so it's negative 4. So you're going to put negative 4, and then that has a y. So you bring your y down. Now, do I have any variables that are the same? My variables, this is an x, this is an x, this one is a y. So the ones that are the same are the x's. So 10 minus 4. So in your calculator, 10 minus 4, minus 4, and you get 6. So that's 6, and I have to bring that variable down. Minus 4y just drops. There's your answer. All right, number 3. So on number 3, look for your parentheses, see where it is. So here's my parentheses, okay? So I'm going to stop after that, okay? So negative 1 times 3, so negative, it was negative 3, and in parentheses 1. Enter, and you get negative 3. So this is negative 3x, and then I'm doing negative 3. I have to do that negative 2, okay? So that's negative 3 parentheses negative 2, which is positive 6. So plus 6. Now that 4x is not inside the parentheses, so you're going to drop it. Now look at your variables. Who is the same? 3 has an x, 4 has an x. So those are the ones that go together. Negative 3 plus 4. So negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So 1x, and then you bring down plus 6, and you're done. Number 4, 3 parentheses 4, and that's 12. So 12a, and then 3 parentheses 5, so that's 15. So plus 15b. Now notice that's the end of that parentheses. Okay, so that's this part. Now I have another set of parentheses, which is over here. So I'm going to have that set over here. So this is 3 times negative 2. So 3 parentheses negative 2 is negative 6. So minus 6a, and then 3 times negative 1. Now I have to put that negative 1 in there. 3 parentheses negative 1. And that's negative 3. So you've got minus 3b. Now look at your variables. So my variables, I have a, here's a A, and then b, here's a b. So you have to put those together. 12 minus 6. So I'm going to hit 12 minus 6. which is 6. So that's 6A, and then you've got 15 minus 3, which is 12B.